such good advice. And for me, also those early investors, Natalie Massenet was an early investor who founded Net-a-Porter, and Carmen Bousquet, who I think would be a really good investor for you guys. So I think having those anchor investors that then give you credibility and bring other people on board and help out. So for me, that's sort of a perfect early investor. That said, I didn't have any institutional money until this round, but I didn't realize that it's harder to get institutional money if you have no institutional money. So I would say get some institutional money before you get to where I am, because then you have people who will carry on. And all of our existing investors and angels have carried on, but the checks just aren't that big.
Yeah. Tori, what about you? What do you look for in terms of investment?
So for me, it's a simple answer. It's all about opening doors. I don't want sustainable fashion to be a conversation in 5 years' time. I want it to be a conversation for 2021 or next week. So for me, I haven't had enough time to go and build massive relationships. And my current investors, I've done 2 kind of small rounds. One was a kind of pre-seed, then we did a bridge over COVID, and now we're raising our pre-series A. So the existing people on my cap table have been really helpful, from getting me with someone with zero fashion background to open doors to pretty senior people. And let me loose in the pitch room. So that for me has been the most crucial. We are making that move into institutional at the moment. But for the kind of first 2 early stage rounds, it was a mix of, I think, to your point earlier about, can anyone give me money, family and friends? Oh my gosh, there are definitely a few. But everyone generally has some form of value, particularly around retail and marketplace. And marketplaces, as everyone here knows, are not always easy businesses to build.
And Laura, you're just at the start of this, and I know that you've got people who are trying to throw money at you at the moment. What do you look for in terms of thinking about Glassette and what you're trying to build for?
This is a public announcement. Will the owner of a blue estate Mondeo, number plate Delta Golf 07.
Come on, Mondeo.
I mean, no one's going to get up on me and say that.
Which one of you is it? We'll give you the slow clap. Laura.
Oh, thanks. So we are launching in mid-October, and it's kind of really a really exciting time for us. I want somebody, I'm a people person, I'm all about relationships, I'm all about people, basically. So it has to be somebody, like Whitney said, who I'm going to get on with, who sees our vision, and also what you were saying, Victoria, about sustainability. This isn't a comms spread for us. We're going to change the way that people shop for homeware. We're going to make sure that people know the end-to-end transparency of their product, where it's made. Do the women in that country get living wage? Do they get maternity pay? Do they get holiday? Do they get a break? We're going to really, I want to make money purposely and do some really good things with it. Nobody's doing this in homeware yet, literally nobody. So it's a really exciting time, and I want somebody to come on board who really wants to be on this journey with us, who's excited as I am. I'm such a glass half full, overspilling every day kind of girl. So I want somebody that believes in the vision with us, me and my co-founder, and can grow with us.
Everyone's business here on stage today, we've all got kind of community at the core of what we do, right? Even if I think about, we were talking about Flowerbox last night over dinner. Everyone that I know, we're all kind of avid fans, but it is from that kind of community basis, and I think that applies to all of us. Why do you think women are so focused on building community products, and do you think that is something that is linked to a feminine economy?
It always makes me think about Goop, that. She managed to build a brand that was all about community, all about people, all about sharing information. Women love that. And like you're saying, we are the biggest consumers. I think it is so important. We love to be able to share purchases, talk about purchases, share information. And, I know all of our brands want to capitalize on that, which is really exciting.
I mean, it's a really good point, because if you think about kind of the original influencers and the original trendsetters, people who could make or break a business, people who would hook you up with your next date, that was women, right? That was mom, actually, who was at home. Tori, how impactful is community on what you build?
Yeah, it's absolutely number one. We always joke that sometimes our community give us too much feedback, the good, bad, and the ugly. I get a lot of it on Instagram, but it's really helpful. And absolutely, I think whether you're a female-owned business or a male-owned business, if you're a consumer business and community is not at the heart of your business, your business isn't going to last very long. honest opinion. When I look at comparables, a Truth or a Depop, the leaders in our space, they are probably skewed to a more female audience on the kind of Gen Z space, but that's not to say that there's a massive market of men, particularly younger guys who really want to be part of something that's exciting. And I think the kind of big pivot and what we really stand for is, actually trying to bring people together and being a cool business that is actually changing the way people wear, and that is a really exciting part that whether you're female or male, I want everyone involved in. So, we obviously launched menswear a couple of months ago, and who would have thought there'd be so many black t-shirts being rented from brands I'd never heard of? So it's a really exciting time.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think community is a huge part of it, but I also think, very similar to what you do with Peanuts, connection. So I think that, especially throughout the past year, where we've seen sales we were up like 700% during COVID, which is just sort of proof that people need connection. And I think now that's the future, is connection and community of a brand. And if you don't create a space where people can connect and you don't create a community, then you don't really stand for anything.
I think that's right. I think the value-driven brands also, that's what we're seeing. If you think about all the companies now that are even listing, if you think that we wouldn't have been talking 3 years ago about Oatly as a oat milk product listing, then things have moved on, and this is where the kind of future of consumer product, I think, lies. A question about kind of businesses and big aspirations for 5 years, 10 years time. I always laugh when people ask me this, but I'll go first. Make it easier. When people say, what is Peanut and where's Peanut going to be in 5 years' time, my answer is quite simply, think about all the social networks that you now know, and now add Peanut to that, and lose one of them on that list, because that's where we are. We're building this social network for womanhood globally, and it's a really exciting time to be doing it, because we know the legacy of what's been built before, and we know how damaging that is, so we already know how to build in the antithesis. And that's really important, kind of watching what's happened and knowing how not to repeat that. Whitney, how would you describe Flowerbox in 5 years?
First of all, that's just so exciting, Michelle. I mean, I can so see that, and I can so see your name and see your logo up on that list, and I can so know who I'm taking off that list. Flowerbox, I see as just being the first global flower brand. Like, you need to go and buy flowers. You can buy flowers, or you can buy Flowerbox. The same way right now, it's like the inconsistency and disappointing experience you have with Interflora. I want to create a global, consistent, beautiful, wonderful experience with Flowerbox. So like Kleenex, it's just how you buy flowers if you want a quality product.
Cool, big question. So the mission is still the same today as it was 3.5 years ago, even with a global pandemic put in the middle of that. So it's all about redefining ownership. I hope that in 365 days we're all sat here and everyone in this room is renting their outfits. Absolutely, that is kind of what I hope for the business. I also want every retailer out there, or big department store or e-com player, to have some form of circular in their business. The next 10 years, circular is going to be a quarter of our wardrobes. So whether you are a big luxury player like Net or you're more mass, we all need to be capitalising on this trend, and that is absolutely the future of fashion.
Oh God, a life well lived. I want Glassette to be in everybody's home. Just like when I buy something from Cool Beauty, I don't say, oh, I bought a mascara from Illamasqua. I say, I bought a mascara from Cool Beauty. When you buy something for the home and it sits in your home, you bought that from Glassette, and then we're going to go global.
It's so exciting to be up here, and if you take nothing else home from today's panel, please let it be that women-led businesses give a 35% higher return than male-led businesses. Please let that be the message. I love these women. Total honour to be up here with them today. I think you might be unlucky that you can't get into their businesses, because I think they've already kind of topped out, but I will let you kind of speak to the right people to find out if you want to find out more about their businesses. Thank you very, very much, and thank you very much to this esteemed panel.